All right, so get this. We're doing a deep dive today on some pretty thought-provoking stuff.
Okay.
And we're going to be exploring this motivational video, and it's by Sadhguru.
Oh, wow.
And let me tell you, this one really had me kind of scratching my head.
Really?
In the best way possible, of course.
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking about consciousness and the nature of miracles and even this crazy idea that we might be able to change the shape of our faces through certain practices.
Whoa.
Yeah, you heard me right.
That's wild.
It's pretty wild stuff.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating how Sadhguru kind of like challenges our typical understanding of what a miracle is.
Right.
You know, he's not talking about parting the seas or walking on water.
Right.
Instead, he defines a miracle as anything that can't easily be explained by logic.
I see.
It's more about recognizing the magic and wonder that's kind of woven into the very fabric of existence.
Yeah, and I like that seed analogy that he uses.
Oh, yeah.
It really stuck with me.
It's a good one.
You know, a tiny seed transforming into a magnificent flower.
It's true.
It's like, yeah, we see it all the time.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you actually stop and think about it, that's pretty mind-blowing.
I know. It really is.
It's such a huge transformation.
Yeah, it's a total shift in perspective.
Exactly. And that's Sadhguru's whole point. You know, that we often take these incredible occurrences for granted.
We do.
And we get so caught up in the logical and the explainable that we totally miss the awe-inspiring nature of what's right there in front of us.
That's so true. But does that mean we should, like, ditch logic altogether?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay, good. Because I'm kind of attached to my reasoning skills.
Yeah, me too.
I need them.
Yeah. No, Sadhguru recognizes how important logic is.
Okay.
He sees it as the foundation of our intelligence.
Okay.
But like he says, you know, a building needs a solid foundation.
Yeah.
But we don't spend our lives living in the basement.
I love that analogy. So we need logic. We need that solid base. But to really experience life, we need to venture beyond the basement.
Exactly.
And that's where, you know, things get really interesting because he introduces this distinction between simply being conscious and tapping into, like, true consciousness.
Right.
Which he calls chitta.
Yes. And that's where things get a bit more technical, you know.
Okay.
So for Sadhguru, chitta represents this, like, pure, unadulterated consciousness.
I see.
An intelligence that's not clouded by, like, the filter of our memories or past experiences.
I see.
It's about accessing a deeper level of knowing.
Okay.
A direct experience of reality that's beyond, like, our typical thought patterns.
Okay, so I'm starting to see where this is going.
Yeah.
So if chitta is this pure state of consciousness, then what Sadhguru is suggesting is that a lot of what we consider intelligence is actually shaped by everything but pure awareness.
Exactly. He argues that our intellect is heavily influenced by our identifications, you know, our nationality, our religion, the social groups we belong to, even our race.
I see.
And these identifications, he suggests, can become problematic.
Okay.
Because they lead us to cling to our own limited perspectives as if they're the only truth.
Right, as if it's the only way to see the world.
Exactly. Think about how often conflicts arise simply because people are convinced that their way of seeing the world is the right way.
Wow. Yeah, no, that really hits home.
Yeah.
It's like he's shining a light on the blind spots that we all have.
Right.
Because of, you know, our conditioning and our upbringing.
Our background.
Yeah, and the stories that we tell ourselves about who we are.
Right.
So if we're all, like, walking around with these filters shaping our perceptions, how do we even begin to break free and experience this chitta?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And this is where Sadhguru's teachings on the 4 paths to realization become really relevant. He outlines karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, and kriya yoga.
Wow. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
So break those down for me.
Okay.
What are these 4 yogas all about?
Okay, so let's start with karma yoga.
Okay.
Which is all about achieving realization through action.
Okay.
It's about selfless service.
Okay.
You know, pouring your energy into actions without being attached to the outcome.
I see.
Like, think of volunteers who dedicate themselves to a cause, you know, not for recognition, but just for the pure joy of making a difference.
That's beautiful. Okay, so what about jnana yoga?
All right, so jnana yoga is the path of the intellect.
Okay.
It's about using your analytical mind, your reasoning abilities, to kind of cut through illusions and arrive at the truth.
So, like, philosophers.
Yeah, think of philosophers.
And scientists.
Yeah.
People who dedicate their lives to unraveling the mysteries of the universe.
Okay.
Through intense study and contemplation. All right, so we've got action and intellect.
Uh,
What about bhakti yoga?
Okay, so bhakti yoga is the path of devotion.
Okay.
Of surrendering to something larger than yourself.
Okay.
It's about channeling your emotions, your love, and your longing towards the divine.
I see.
So, think of artists who pour their souls into their creations. Musicians who lose themselves in the music. Anyone who experiences that sense of oneness and ecstasy through devotional practices.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah.
It's like all these yogas are tapping into different facets of what it means to be human.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about Kriya Yoga? What's that one?
Okay, so Kriya Yoga is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because this path focuses on the transformation of inner energies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a more technical approach involving specific practices like breath work, visualizations, and working with energy channels called nadis, which converge at specific points in the body known as chakras.
Whoa, hold on. We're going full-on mystical here.
I know.
Chakras, energy channels. Is there any science behind this?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Or is this just purely based on, ancient yogic traditions?
Yeah, that's a question that often sparks a lot of debate.
I bet.
While mainstream science hasn't fully, caught up with understanding these subtle energy systems, there's a growing body of research that suggests our bodies are far more energetic than we typically acknowledge.
Interesting.
Think of the research on the effects of acupuncture.
Okay.
Or the measurable changes in brainwave patterns during meditation.
So it's not just woo-woo spirituality. There might actually be some measurable scientific basis to this whole energy thing.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that Sadhguru himself encourages us to embrace both perspectives, the scientific and the mystical. I like that. He doesn't want us to blindly believe anything.
Right.
But to explore, to experiment, and to see what resonates with our own experience.
That's a refreshing approach.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got these 4 paths. Action, intellect, devotion, and energy work.
Yeah.
But he's not saying we have to just pick one and stick with it, right?
Right. He actually suggests that we're all a unique blend of these 4 aspects, and that understanding which ones are more dominant in us can help us navigate our own path towards self-realization.
So someone listening in right now might ask themselves, what brings me the most joy? What brings me the most fulfillment? Is it losing myself in selfless service? Is it diving deep into intellectual pursuits? Is it connecting to something greater, through devotion and ritual? Or is it exploring and mastering my own inner energy?
Exactly. It's all about self-awareness and understanding your own unique makeup. And that understanding can then guide you towards the practices that will be most effective in helping you peel back those layers of conditioning and experience that pure state of chitta.
Okay. I love that. This is so fascinating, but I have to admit, I'm still a little bit stuck on that changing the shape of your face thing.
Right.
What's the deal with that? Is he speaking literally or metaphorically?
That's a question that definitely sparks a lot of curiosity.
Yeah.
And it kind of speaks to the transformative power that Sadhguru sees in these practices. If we can shift something as fundamental as our physical appearance through dedicated inner work, what other seemingly impossible feats might be within our reach?
Whoa. Okay. Mind blown. It's like he's challenging us to rethink the limits that we place on ourselves, not just physically, but in every aspect of our lives.
Right.
This is definitely making me rethink the whole, I'm just wired this way excuse, that I've been using for pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So are we just products of our genes and our conditioning?
Right.
Or is there a way to break free?
That's the core question that Sadhguru is posing.
Okay.
And he believes that the key to true enhancement, to living a truly fulfilling life, comes not from chasing external achievements or accumulating possessions,
I see.
but from a profound inner transformation.
He even cites scientific research showing measurable chemical changes in the body after just 21 minutes of practice.
It's true.
That's pretty compelling evidence.
It is.
That, profound experiences don't always require years of dedicated study.
It's true. And it goes back to his point about the limitations of logic.
Okay.
He's not saying science is wrong or irrelevant, but he's inviting us to go beyond the purely intellectual and embrace these deeper experiences of life that might not fit neatly into a lab report.
So he's saying that truth can be found not just in a lab, but within ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay, I love that.
He's encouraging us to become explorers of our own inner landscapes, to discover the miracles hidden within the everyday fabric of our lives.
This is all so intriguing, but like a burning question for me is, how do we actually do that?
Right.
What are the specific practices, the techniques that can help us tap into this deeper consciousness and create these profound transformations?
That's a question we're going to dive into deeply.
Okay.
And one of the most intriguing approaches that Sadhguru highlights is surprisingly simple, yet often overlooked.
Okay, what is it?
The power of stillness.
Stillness. You mean like meditation?
Yeah.
Because honestly, I've tried it, and quieting my mind feels like trying to herd cats.
I hear you.
It's impossible.
But Sadhguru sees meditation not as some mystical practice reserved for monks in caves, but as a fundamental human tool for self-discovery.
Okay.
He describes it as process of creating space with a space where we can observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, where we can connect with the source of our own being.
That sounds amazing, but I'm still skeptical.
Yeah.
What are like some tips for those of us who struggle with meditation?
Right.
Because honestly, the minute I try to sit still, my to-do list starts scrolling through my head.
That's so relatable.
I know.
One of Sadhguru's key pieces of advice is to approach meditation with a sense of playfulness and curiosity. Rather than rigidity or striving.
Yeah.
It's not about forcing our minds to be blank.
Right.
Which is pretty much impossible.
Yeah, for most of us.
But about gently guiding them towards a state of stillness.
So it's not about, berating myself for every thought that pops up.
Right.
But about just gently bringing my attention back.
Exactly.
My breath to the present moment.
Exactly.
That feels much more approachable.
Right. He also emphasizes the importance of finding a practice that resonates with you personally.
Yeah.
There are countless forms of meditation. So it's about experimenting and discovering what works best for your individual needs and temperament.
Yeah. So there's no one-size-fits-all approach?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. That's reassuring.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely felt intimidated by all the different meditation techniques out there.
Absolutely. And this aligns with his discussion of the 4 paths to realization.
Okay.
He acknowledges that different people will be drawn to different approaches based on their unique makeup.
So whether it's through action or intellect or devotion or energy work, there's a path for everyone to explore.
Exactly.
A way to tap into that deeper consciousness, that chitta.
All right.
It's like he's saying, look, the tools are there, the invitation is open. It's up to you to take the leap.
Exactly.
Wow, I love that. So that's a really great place to stop for now.
Okay.
We'll pick it up in part 2.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Talk to you then.
Talk to you then. Okay, so, we left off talking about fear and how Sadhguru views it not as something to be avoided, but as like a potential catalyst for growth.
Right, yeah.
And that really got me thinking, it's like instead of seeing fear as a stop sign, we can reframe it as like a signpost pointing us towards, an unexplored territory within ourselves.
That's a really powerful way to look at it.
Yeah.
But honestly, easier said than done, right? I mean, how do we actually shift from that, oh my God, run away feeling to, that, I wonder what's over there.
Well, remember how we talked about the limitations of logic?
Yeah.
Sometimes the best way to approach fear isn't through, like overthinking or trying to rationalize it away.
Yeah.
But by tapping into a more childlike sense of wonder.
Okay.
Sadhguru suggests cultivating curiosity as a way to approach the things that scare us.
So instead of getting caught up in all those what ifs and the worst case scenarios, I can try asking myself, what if this fear is actually like a doorway to something amazing?
Exactly.
Okay.
When we approach life with curiosity, we open ourselves to new possibilities, to unexpected adventures. Okay. So instead of contracting and closing down, we expand
Yeah.
and invite discovery.
I like that.
It's like choosing to see the world as this vast playground, full of mysteries to unravel, rather than like a minefield to tiptoe through.
That's such a good analogy.
Yeah.
It's like switching from, a mindset of scarcity and fear to a mindset of abundance and possibility.
Right.
I love that. But what about those times when fear feels really, really overwhelming?
Right.
Like it just got me completely stuck.
Yeah.
Does Sadhguru offer any practical tools?
He does.
For dealing with those moments.
And it might surprise you how simple yet powerful his approach is. One of the key practices that he recommends is conscious breathing.
Okay, breath work.
Yeah, he emphasizes the profound connection between our breath and our emotional state, and teaches specific breathing techniques that can help us calm the nervous system and create a sense of spaciousness within.
Okay, so this is starting to make sense.
Yeah.
I've definitely noticed that when I'm feeling anxious or scared, my breath becomes really shallow and rapid.
Right.
So if I can learn to consciously regulate my breath, I can actually influence my emotional state.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like hitting the pause button on your emotional reactivity.
Yeah.
So when you're feeling overwhelmed by fear, try taking a few slow, deep breaths.
Okay.
Focusing on the sensations of the breath entering and leaving your body.
Right.
And this can help to shift you from a state of fight or flight to a more grounded and centered state.
So it's not about denying the fear.
No.
But about just creating some space around it.
Exactly.
So that I can respond from a place of, more clarity and wisdom.
Right.
Rather than just reacting from a place of panic.
That's the idea. It's about moving from reactivity to responsiveness.
Yeah, I like that.
And that space, that pause, can make all the difference.
Okay.
Sadhguru also talks about the importance of cultivating inner peace as a foundation for navigating life's challenges with, grace and resilience.
Inner peace. Now, that sounds lovely.
Yeah.
But honestly, some days it feels like an elusive unicorn.
I hear you.
How do we even begin to cultivate something so peaceful in a world that often feels anything but?
That's a great question, and one that many of us grapple with. Sadhguru offers a perspective that's both profound and liberating. He suggests that inner peace is not something we achieve, but something we already are.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Are you saying I'm walking around with, a reservoir of inner peace?
Yeah.
And I just haven't tapped into it yet?
He uses this great analogy. Imagine a mirror that's covered in dust.
Okay.
The mirror itself is perfectly clear, but the dust obscures its ability to reflect.
Okay.
So our minds are like that mirror.
Right.
And our thoughts and our emotions and all the mental chatter, that's the dust.
I'm starting to see the picture.
Yeah.
So it's not about adding something new, some magical peace potion.
Right.
But about removing the obstacles.
Exactly.
That are preventing us from experiencing our true nature.
Yes.
Which is inherently peaceful.
Exactly.
That's both encouraging and kind of mind-blowing.
It is.
But I hear you asking.
What's that?
Okay, that's all well and good.
Yeah.
But what about the external world?
Right.
It's full of chaos and suffering. How can I possibly stay peaceful amidst all that?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
This is where Sadhguru's teachings on non-attachment become really valuable.
Okay.
He encourages us to engage with the world without getting entangled in it.
Okay.
It's about being in the world, but not of it.
Okay, I'm sensing another analogy coming on.
He uses the image of a lotus flower.
Okay, I like it already.
It grows in muddy water, but its petals remain pristine and untouched.
Yeah.
In the same way, we can be surrounded by chaos and difficulty, but we can choose to not let it stain our inner peace.
That's a beautiful image.
Yeah.
So it's not about withdrawing from the world or becoming indifferent to suffering. It's about cultivating, a certain detachment that allows us to maintain our center, our inner balance.
Exactly. And one of the keys to cultivating this non-attachment is understanding the nature of impermanence. Everything is constantly changing, Nothing is permanent.
Right. So by recognizing that everything is in flux, that nothing lasts forever, we're less likely to cling to things, to outcomes.
Right.
To how we think things should be.
Exactly. Yeah. And that detachment, that willingness to let go can free us from a lot of suffering. Right. It's not about becoming apathetic, but about finding a place of inner stillness amidst the ever-changing tides of life.
I love that. This is making me think of that famous quote.
What's that?
This too shall pass.
Yes.
It's like a reminder that even the most difficult experiences are temporary.
They are.
And that clinging to them only prolongs our suffering.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
And that understanding can be incredibly liberating. It allows us to experience life with greater freedom and ease.
Right.
Because we're not so attached to things staying the same or going a certain way.
Okay. So I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together,
Yeah.
Conscious breathing helps to calm my nervous system.
Right.
Cultivating inner peace provides a solid foundation.
Yeah.
And understanding impermanence helps me detach from outcomes.
Right.
It's like building a toolkit for navigating life's challenges.
Yeah.
With more grace and wisdom.
You got it. And to add another powerful tool to that toolkit.
What?
Sadhguru speaks about the transformative power of
okay, what is it?
Love.
Love. Okay, now we're talking.
Right.
But when you say love, are we talking about like romantic love?
Yeah.
Or something a little more expansive?
Yeah. Sadhguru is actually talking about a love that goes beyond the personal.
Okay.
A love that encompasses all beings.
Okay.
It's not about romantic love specifically, but about cultivating a heart. Yeah. That is open, compassionate, and accepting.
So it's about like seeing the divine spark in everyone and everything.
Yeah.
Even that guy who cut me off in traffic this morning.
Even him.
Okay.
It's about recognizing our shared humanity, our interconnectedness, and approaching all beings with kindness and respect.
Okay.
Regardless of their behavior.
That's a tall order.
It is.
It's like he's challenging us to like upgrade our operating system from like judgment and separation to understanding and unity.
Exactly.
But how do we actually cultivate that kind of love?
Yeah.
Where do we even begin?
Sadhguru suggests that the most powerful place to start is with ourselves.
Ourselves.
Yeah. It might sound counterintuitive, but he emphasizes the importance of self-love as the foundation for loving others authentically.
Self-love, okay, that's a concept I've struggled with.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a little bit selfish?
Right.
Shouldn't we be focusing on loving others?
That's a common misconception. Sadhguru actually says that self-love is essential for our well-being.
Okay.
And for our ability to love others authentically.
Yeah, okay.
It's about accepting ourselves fully, flaws and all, and treating ourselves with the same kindness and compassion that we would extend to someone we love dearly.
Okay, so it makes sense if I'm constantly criticizing myself and focusing on like my shortcomings, it's going to be pretty hard to like show up with an open and loving heart for anyone else.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we are worthy of love, just as we are imperfections and all. Okay. And from that place of self-acceptance, we can extend love and compassion outwards to all beings without reservation.
Okay, so self-love is not the opposite of loving others. Right. It's actually like a prerequisite.
Exactly.
It's like filling our own cup.
Yes.
So we have something to pour from.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
I like that.
And this kind of love, Sadhguru reminds us, is not just a feeling. Okay. It's a practice. Okay. It's something we cultivate through our thoughts, our words, and actions. Okay. It's about choosing love in every moment, even when it's difficult.
Okay, that feels both empowering and daunting.
Yeah.
It's like I have the power to choose love, but it also requires like a conscious effort, you know, a willingness to show up differently, even when I don't feel like it.
You got it. And that brings us to another key principle in Sadhguru's teachings, one that's essential for navigating the ups and downs of life with grace and resilience.
Okay, what is it?
The importance of purpose.
Purpose. Okay, no, that's something I've been wrestling with for a while now. It's like, what am I here to do? Yeah. What's my like unique contribution to the world? It all feels so big.
It does.
And overwhelming.
I hear you. And Sadhguru acknowledges that it can feel that way.
Okay.
But he encourages us
Yeah.
to not get lost in the grandiosity of it all,
Yeah.
and instead to start by paying attention
Okay.
to what already lights us up.
Okay.
What brings us joy,
Mm-hmm.
what we're naturally passionate about.
So it's not about trying to figure out some, like, grand mission statement for my life.
Yeah.
But about just noticing,
Yes.
the things that already make my heart sing.
Exactly. Wow. What are you naturally drawn to?
Yeah.
What activities make you lose track of time?
Right.
What makes you feel truly alive?
Yeah.
He suggests that our purpose often reveals itself through our interests, our passions, and the things that bring us joy.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like, instead of trying to force something,
right,
I can, like, relax and allow my purpose to unfold organically.
That's the idea. And he encourages us to explore those interests, to experiment with different activities, to follow our curiosity and see where it leads.
Okay, so if I'm feeling, lost or purposeless, maybe the best thing I can do is to just, like, start doing more of the things that light me up.
Exactly.
Even if I don't know how they, like, fit into the bigger picture.
Exactly. It's about trusting that the path will reveal itself as you walk it.
Okay.
And often it's in those moments of playful exploration when we're not trying so hard that the pieces start falling into place.
I love that. This is all very inspiring, but I have to admit,
Yeah.
a part of me is still, like, a little skeptical.
Uh-huh.
Is it really that simple?
Right.
Don't we need to have, like, some kind of plan?
Yeah.
Some structure? Some strategy?
Yeah.
For, like, figuring out our purpose?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And this is where Sadhguru's teachings on surrender come into play.
Surrender.
Now, I know that word can sometimes feel a little scary.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like it means, giving up or admitting defeat.
Yeah.
But that's not at all what he's talking about.
Okay, so what does surrender mean in this context?
He describes surrender as aligning ourselves with a greater intelligence, a force that's bigger than our limited minds can comprehend.
Right.
It's about trusting the flow of life.
Okay.
Even when we don't understand it, even when it feels uncertain or scary.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this connects to what we were talking about earlier. If we're so attached to things going a certain way, to our plans and expectations, then we're constantly resisting the flow of life.
And that resistance creates a lot of suffering.
Right.
Surrender, on the other hand, is about letting go of that need to control, about trusting that we're being guided, supported, and loved, even when we can't see the bigger picture.
That's a really beautiful concept.
It is.
But it also feels a little terrifying.
It can.
What if I let go and things fall apart?
Right.
What if I end up somewhere I don't want to be?
Those are natural fears and ones that many of us share. But Sadhguru reminds us that we're not alone.
Okay.
That there's a force of love and intelligence guiding us, even when we can't see it.
Yeah.
He uses the analogy of a river flowing towards the ocean.
Okay.
We can struggle against the current, trying to, like, control the direction, or we can relax, surrender to the flow, and trust that it will carry us to our destination.
Wow, that's a really powerful image.
Yeah.
It's like instead of trying to paddle upstream, I can just, like, let go and allow the river of life to just carry me.
Exactly.
But how do I actually, like, cultivate that trust?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Because honestly, my default setting is definitely control freak.
That's something we all grapple with to some degree.
Right.
And Sadhguru suggests that one of the best ways to cultivate trust is to strengthen our connection to our inner selves, to our intuition, to that, still small voice within that knows the way.
Okay, so it's about, like, tuning into my inner compass.
Yes.
That, that gut feeling that often gets drowned out by, all the noise and distractions of the external world.
Of the outside.
But what if I'm not sure how to recognize that inner voice?
Right.
What if I'm, like, second-guessing myself or mistaking, like, my fears for intuition?
Those are great questions.
Yeah.
This is where the practice of mindfulness comes in.
Okay, mindfulness.
Sadhguru emphasizes the importance of bringing present moment awareness to our thoughts, our feelings, and sensations.
So mindfulness is about paying attention to what's happening within me.
Yes.
Without judgment, without, like, getting swept away by, the stories my mind is telling me.
Exactly. It's about creating space between ourselves and our thoughts and emotions.
Okay.
So we can observe them with more clarity and objectivity.
Okay, so that clarity can help me discern between, the voice of fear and the voice of intuition.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's like if you're constantly reacting to your thoughts and emotions, you're just going to get swept away by the current.
Yeah.
But if you can cultivate that space of mindfulness, you can choose which thoughts to engage with and which ones to just, let float on by.
I like that. That makes a lot of sense.
And that space, that pause, is where we access our wisdom, our intuition, our connection to something greater than ourselves.
This is also rich and insightful.
Yeah.
It feels like we've, covered so much ground already.
We have.
But I know there's, still so much to explore.
There is.
So where do we go from here?
Well, in the final part of our deep dive, we're going to explore some even more profound and perhaps challenging aspects of Sadhguru's teachings. We'll delve into the nature of silence, the importance of self-transformation, and the concept of interconnectedness. Get ready for some mind-bending insights.
All right. I'm intrigued. I'm ready.
Good.
Until then, everyone listening in, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep. Okay. So we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Sadhguru's teachings, and wow, my mind is officially blown wide open.
I know, right?
We've covered so much ground. We talked about miracles, consciousness, the 4 yogas, the importance of self-love and purpose, and even, the power of surrender.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling like we're about to go even deeper.
We are, yeah. We're going to explore some of the more subtle, yet incredibly powerful aspects of Sadhguru's teachings.
Okay, I'm ready.
And it all starts with something that might seem surprisingly simple, yet often elusive.
Okay, what is it?
Silence.
Silence. Okay, I'm intrigued, but also a little intimidated.
Yeah.
Silence can be, well, kind of awkward.
It can be.
What's so special about it?
Well, Sadhguru teaches that silence is not just the absence of sound,
but
a doorway to a whole other dimension of experience. It's about stilling the mind, quieting that constant chatter, and creating space for inner peace, clarity, and connection to something much greater than ourselves.
That sounds pretty amazing in theory, but honestly, my mind is like a monkey on a trampoline.
I hear you.
It never stops. How am I supposed to just, shut it off?
I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah.
And Sadhguru acknowledges that silencing the mind can be challenging.
Yeah.
Especially, in our modern world where we're constantly bombarded with information and stimulation.
Right, exactly.
He's not suggesting that we, become hermits
Okay.
or live in a soundproof bubble. It's about creating pockets of silence in our daily lives, even if it's just for, a few minutes at a time.
So it's about, finding those moments of stillness amidst the chaos.
Exactly.
Those pauses where I can just, be without trying to do or think or achieve.
Exactly. It could be through meditation.
Okay.
Spending time in nature, or simply taking a few moments each day to disconnect from all the screens and devices that are, constantly vying for our attention.
Yeah, they are.
It's about intentionally creating space for silence.
Okay, but, what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the benefit of all this silence?
Well, Sadhguru teaches that silence is not empty, but rather full of potential.
I see.
It's like fertile ground
Okay.
from which creativity, inspiration, and wisdom can emerge.
So when we quiet the mind,
Yeah,
we create space for our inner voice, our intuition to speak.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's in those moments of stillness
Yeah.
that we often receive our greatest insights and guidance.
That makes sense. It's like if I'm constantly talking over myself, I'm never going to hear what my inner wisdom is trying to tell me.
Exactly.
But honestly, I also have to admit,
Yeah.
part of me is a little afraid of silence.
Uh-huh.
You know, what if I don't like what I find in there?
Yeah.
What if it's just like crickets?
That's a common fear.
Yeah.
And one that Sadhguru addresses.
Okay.
He suggests that our resistance to silence is often rooted in a fear of facing our shadows.
Oh.
You know, those parts of ourselves that we'd rather keep hidden.
Right.
Even from ourselves.
Okay, so it's not just about being afraid of boredom, but about being afraid of what might surface when I'm not distracting myself.
Exactly.
With like noise and busyness.
Exactly.
Right.
But he encourages us to view silence not as something to be feared, but as an opportunity to heal, to grow, and to become more whole. It's about bringing those shadows into the light of our awareness, where we can integrate them and reclaim our wholeness.
That's a really powerful reframing.
Yeah.
It's like, instead of running from those parts of myself that I'd rather not look at, I can use silence as a space to like befriend them, to understand them, and ultimately, liberate myself from their grip.
Exactly. And that process of, befriending our shadows, of integrating all aspects of ourselves, is a key part of what Sadhguru calls self-transformation.
Okay, self-transformation.
He teaches that true happiness and fulfillment come not from changing the world around us, but from changing ourselves.
Right.
From becoming the best versions of ourselves.
Okay, self-transformation. That sounds both incredibly exciting and completely overwhelming.
It can be.
Where do I even begin?
Well, Sadhguru encourages us to view self-transformation not as a destination, but as a journey. A process of continuous learning and growth.
Yeah.
He suggests we start with small steps. Focusing on one area of our lives that we'd like to improve and making gradual, sustainable changes.
So it's not about trying to overhaul like my entire life overnight, but about identifying like specific areas where I'd like to grow.
Exactly.
And just like focusing my energy there.
Exactly. It could be anything from improving your relationships to cultivating healthier habits, to deepening your spiritual practice.
I see.
The key is to choose something that resonates with you. And to approach it with a sense of curiosity, playfulness, and compassion.
So self-transformation is not about like, beating myself up for my shortcomings, but about approaching myself with kindness and understanding.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're all works in progress. And that every step we take towards growth and healing is a victory worth celebrating.
I love that. So it's not about striving for, some unattainable ideal of perfection, but about embracing the journey. Of becoming the best version of myself one step at a time.
Exactly. And that journey, he suggests, is not a solitary one. We're all interconnected. Part of a larger web of life.
Interconnectedness. That's a concept that's been coming up a lot in our conversation.
It has.
And one that honestly I'm still kind of wrapping my head around. What does it actually mean to be interconnected?
Well, Sadhguru teaches that we are not separate individuals, but rather expressions of a single unified consciousness.
I see.
He uses the analogy of a drop of water merging with the ocean. The drop is still there, but it's also part of something much vaster.
So we're both individuals and part of something much larger than ourselves.
Exactly.
That's a really mind-bending concept.
It is.
But like, how do I actually experience that interconnectedness? It's so easy to feel isolated and alone in like our modern world.
That's a great point. And Sadhguru suggests that one of the best ways to experience that interconnectedness is to spend time in nature.
Nature. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I always feel more grounded and connected when I like out in the woods or by the ocean. It's like all the worries and stresses of life just melt away.
He encourages us to immerse ourselves in the natural world. To feel the earth beneath our feet, the sun on our skin, the wind in our hair. It's about reconnecting with the rhythms of nature. And recognizing our place within the web of life.
Okay, but what if I live in a city and don't have like easy access to nature?
Well, Sadhguru suggests that we can cultivate a sense of interconnectedness, even in urban environments. He encourages us to pay attention to the simple things, like the trees lining the streets or the birds singing in the park.
Yeah.
It's about shifting our perspective and choosing to see the world through the lens of unity and wholeness.
So interconnectedness is not about, like, location.
Right.
It's about perspective.
Yes.
It's about choosing to see the world as like a symphony of interconnected beings rather than a collection of separate individuals.
Exactly. And that shift in perspective can have a profound impact on our experience of life.
Right.
It can lead to greater empathy, compassion, and a sense of belonging.
This is so powerful and inspiring. It feels like we've only just scratched the surface of Sadhguru's teachings.
I know, right?
But this has given me so much to, like, think about, to reflect on, and to apply in my own life.
That's the beauty of his teachings. They're not just, a set of beliefs or dogmas, but a toolkit for exploring the depths of our own being and discovering the boundless potential that lies within.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one final question to ponder.
Okay.
If, as Sadhguru suggests, we have the power to transform ourselves, to cultivate inner peace, to connect with our purpose, and to experience the interconnectedness of all things, what else might be possible?
What dreams are we holding on to that might be ready to be realized? What contributions are we longing to make in the world?
It's time to step into our power, embrace our potential, and create a life that's truly extraordinary.
Until next time, keep diving deep.